How long have you wanted the position of education officer?
It's a good question. I suppose I've really wanted to do it ever since about the start of third year, when after running a campaign and having a friend in second year who was education officer and sort of seeing what it was really about, and then I kind of decided in third year that I wanted to run, but I decided to hold off a year because a friend of mine was running for president and I really wanted to help him. So, I don't think I deserve it. I think I put my name forward and I've got hopefully policies that people want to vote for and experience that people want to vote for, and I'd only know if I deserve it if the people vote for me. So that's probably since first year I've been involved. I was a class rep back in the day when I was in first year for human genetics, and second year I did nothing. Third year I was the officer for students with disabilities, and this year I'm EMS faculty convener. So I suppose 3 years really in total. Well, in terms of I suppose in representative democracy, they are the 5 biggest positions in the union. They'll have the most say in what's said. So it's a good place for voters to get what they want across, get what they want and how the union wants to be run. It's not the only place, but it is certainly a good place. USI has made some very good steps towards improving themselves and making themselves a more representative thing. I think it's a good question that we ask the question, are USI doing what they should be doing? And I think it shouldn't be a big hoo-ha thing every time it comes out. I think it should be a regular thing. A lot of colleges do it. They just ask, is everything okay? Should we stay with them? Should we not? I think that should be sort of become the norm, rather than just, when we do it once every 10 years, everyone's like, it's a big deal. Whereas I think it should be more like maybe every 4 or 5 years, and we just make sure that everything's going on, making sure everyone's happy with it. There certainly is any value. There certainly is value. I mean, they got through the student support bill. They've done some good things. Is it total value for money? Well, that's up to the students to decide. If they think they're getting their value out for €8, then they should vote to stay. If they don't, then they shouldn't. I think they're trying to make our €8 worth more, but I think there's still a long road to go. Well, as you said, the provost there made a point towards it that the boxing captain couldn't actually do boxing. There's been a report in college that about 30% of block book rooms aren't actually used. So it's a matter of just, even if it takes a bit of manpower going around checking the rooms, which can be done, it's about showing that also the college want to do it. They want to get people involved in extracurricular activities. And if they want to do it and the SE wants to do it, that's a great way, because when we work together it just works so much easier. And hopefully by working with college, it's something we can get done, and that's why I believe it's doable. Yeah, it's one of my main advices. It's not that hard actually to do. Basically, if you go into 21st Century Space, they have those barriers up there on the right, the 2 things, so you can't get in to the main library. It's perfectly fine. So what they can do is, if they open the stairwell at the back, just to the next floor, but make sure that it's locked everywhere else on every other floor, put in a few security cameras for obvious reasons, and put up 2 more barriers for the same cost that they built the thing originally, you can have an entire 2nd floor. So it's pretty much the same cost it is to open it in the first place, but no extra manpower cost. So I think that's fairly reasonable. It wouldn't be that expensive for them to do. The cost-effective solution for increasing it, that would be it. So it would basically, in order to do it, having talked to a few people, you first of all need security cameras on the stairwell for safety reasons. So that's acceptable. They're not expensive at all. Then you need to put the same barriers that they have on the 1st floor, where the normal one is, on the 2nd floor. That's again very non-expensive. And then you need to install the glass. In fact, you wouldn't even need to do that, sorry, you just need the barriers there. That's basically it. Then you have the top part of the library locked off, the 2nd floor and the bottom floor, for next to nothing. Because that's Trinity. Change is difficult. It's, you can imagine how long it took them to put in the 21st Century Space in the first place. So change is always very difficult, and money is tight. So they're always trying to see which is the best way. But if it's something they want and something we want, it's likely to happen. Well, all the spots work together, and I would be the deputy president, yes, which means I would take over if heaven forbid anything should happen to the president. But I think I don't think any Sabbat is a unit. I don't think it's like this is one person and this is their job and they will go do it. I think everyone feeds into everything else as much as they can. So, I mean, we're already mandated to have weekly meetings, but obviously I think Sabbats meet probably even at least once a day these days. So it's about working together and working with whoever gets elected president to make sure that I'm sort of on top of what they are doing and I know what's going on in their role in case I do need to step in. But obviously I can't sacrifice my own role. I have educational needs to look after, but thankfully we sit on the same committees for most of the time. We're both on board, and I'd be feeding in there, and so I'd be there. But if I had to step in, yeah, I would just follow on whatever footsteps the elected president wants to do. To make the SU run more smoothly, I mean, we're always looking to improve the SU. I mean, and hopefully every year it'll get slightly better. It's by no means perfect, but in terms of streamlining the operations, it's a matter of, I'm trying to think now, what needs to be streamlined. I'd always be looking for cost-effective solutions. I don't have any at the moment, I'd have to be truthfully honest, but when I get into the role and when I can see exactly how everything's working and where the money's being spent, I will absolutely look for any cost-effective solutions that can be done. Streamlining the education officer's role, I mean, I'll try find the most direct route between my office and the committee rooms. Class-out training and other things like that, I mean, that's one of my biggest operations. I think the way to look forward to that and streamlining is to look for more sponsorship and try getting better deals off hotels. So I have run the Science Ball for a couple of years and I've got negotiation skills on how to talk to hotels. So if I can get the cost of that down by just simply pushing for a better deal, then that'd be one of the streamlines I suppose I could do. Well, one of the things I want to be doing certainly as education officer is making sure that when reps are communicating with their classes that they're doing it in an accessible format. So one of the very simple things is like emails, and I want to be pushing that through. It's very simple to write an accessible email. It's just a matter of using a particular type of font and not doing certain breaking the rules like underlining a lot of text or having block capitals. So I'll be definitely trying to push that so that the SU is accessible as much. All that our materials go out have to be in a certain type of font and text with the right kind of contrast. But as well, I'll be listening to whoever who is the Officer for Students with Disability that year so they get a chance to push their ideas through, and I'll work with them and help them do whatever they want to do as well. So. A constitutional review is a big undertaking. It takes a lot of people. You need somebody who's got an idea about constitution, so you're probably going to need a law student at least. I'm fairly happy with the constitution as it is at the moment. There are a few things I do think need changing. There are some very technical issues on it, but I think what possibly could be done well, I mean obviously I understand his policy is to make a more user-friendly constitution. You do need sort of rules that people have to follow if elected, and they need to be sort of ironclad. They need to be locked in stone so that no one can find a loophole. But I think what would definitely be doable is to make some sort of user-friendly material to help people understand the constitution, and that definitely is something we need, because I mean it's a huge document. It's probably overcrowded with policy as well. No one's going to take the time to read it, so I think what our jobs are is to sort of convey and spread the word about what it actually means to the student and make it so that they can understand it in a much more friendlier format. Certainly if James wants to do a constitutional review, I'm happy to do it, and I certainly want to be there with him and helping him do that, because obviously like the education officer would have a huge part in how the constitution is structured and what the intricacies have in it. But I mean if you're looking for very technical details of change, I mean it'd be very boring.